a Brindle fair where the taverns never rest, sat Aelbrin the Windmage with a wager in his chest. I'll cool the mugs for all of you with just a gentle breeze. He raised his hands, the rafter shook, the yell leapt from the lees. The fiddler's tune went sideways, the candles lost their flame, the serving wench went spinning as the gusts around her came. Oh, Gale in the alehouse, tankards took to flight, foam across the floorboards, laughter through the night. Raise a cheer for the wind-blown cheer in Brindle Fair's delight. Oh, Gale in the alehouse on that rowdy night. The jugs rolled down the staircase, the pies flew through the hall. Old Captain Drew cried, hold your hats, but nearly took a fall. The Bards' own lute was lifted high, the dice flew through the air, and every patron roared with glee, blow harder if you dare. Oh, Gale in the alehouse, tankards took to flight, foam across the floorboards, laughter through the night. Raise a cheer for the wind-blown cheer in Brindle Fair's delight. Oh, Gale in the alehouse on that rowdy night. Now if you meet a windmage, beware his merry boast, for when he stirs the evening, you'll likely spill your toast. Oh, Gale in the alehouse, let the story grow, from hearth to hall the whispers call of winds from long ago. Oh, Gale in the alehouse, let the story grow, from hearth to hall the whispers call of winds from long ago. Oh, Gale in the alehouse, tankards took to flight, foam across the floorboards, laughter through the night. Raise a cheer for the wind-blown cheer in Brindle Fair's delight. Oh, Gale in the alehouse on that rowdy night.
Of Alderbrook the royal march began, with banners high and trumpets loud they hailed the nobleman. But Thornic, mage of earth and might, thought, I shall aid their way, I'll soften road for weary feet and brighten up the day. Yet earth obeyed too fondly, the cobbles turned to clay, and soon the king's fine cavalry were stuck without delay. Mud in the king's boots, gold in the grime, the trumpets fell silent in the holiday chime. From stirrup to stirrup they struggled and swore. Mud in the king's boots, forever folklore. The courtiers wailed in horror, the knights all pulled in vain. The queen's own steed was splattered, the coach sank in the lane. Thornic blushed and bowed his head, it's softer now you see. The king just sighed and muttered low, it's softer far for me. Mud in the king's boots, gold in the grime, the trumpets fell silent in the holiday chime. From stirrup to stirrup they struggled and swore. Mud in the king's boots, forever folklore. So let this tale remind you, when magic meets the crown, a single slip of power can pull the whole court down. Mud in the king's boots, gold in the grime, we'll drink to that blunder till the end of all time. Mud in the king's boots, forever folklore. Mud in the king's boots, gold in the grime. The trumpets fell silent in the holiday chime. From stirrup to stirrup, they struggled and swore. Mud in the king's boots, forever folklore. The torch festival blazed each year as bright as day could be.
This mage of fire's heart declared with gleaming eye,
Light them all with but one spark and set the spirits high.
he breathed upon the kindling, the flames leapt far and wide, till every torch was roaring, and more they could not hide.
Torch the torch festival, fire in the square. From lanterns to the rooftops, the embers filled the air. Sing of the night when the fire ran free. Torch the torch festival in bright revelry.
of Greystone Town, where the scholars kept their lore, Mirella strode with gentle steps across the marble floor. She spied a candle flicker by the maps of ancient seas, and thought, I'll quench this ember spark and guard the histories. But water sprang in torrents from her spellbound eager hand, and books became like sailing ships adrift from every stand.
Oh, the flooded library, scrolls afloat and wide, shots of kings and kingdoms drifting with the tide. From shelf to shining window, the waves began to glide. Oh, the flooded library where knowledge learned to ride.
The scribes cried out in horror, the monks leapt from their seats. The ink swirled into colors as it mingled in the sheets. Mirella guessed I only meant a drop to end the flame, yet now the walls were ringing with the scholars' shocked acclaim.
Oh, the flooded library, scrolls afloat and wide, shots of kings and kingdoms drifting with the tide. From shelf to shining window, the waves began to glide. Oh, the flooded library where knowledge learned to ride.
Now sailors come for reading with their boots upon the plank, and every tale is wetter than the wine they've ever drank.
Oh, the flooded library, scrolls afloat and wide, mayhap the gods of water keep those stories dry inside.
Where stalagmites stand tall, four mages crept through shadows to a dragon's ancient hall. They sought a gem of crimson fire to crown the royal band, but found instead a rumbling snore that shook the very land. Then out it came, a mighty sneeze like thunder through the deep, with flames and streams in wild spray. The cavern woke from in the cave of the sneezing dragon, sparks and torrents meet, walls ablaze and rivers race beneath the trembling feet. Run ye brave from blazing rain, and hear the echoed beat. In the cave of the sneezing dragon, none can keep their seat. Elbrin's wind whipped embers round, Mirella drenched the stones. Paris roared with fire's pride, Thornock's quake broke bones of thrones. The dragon sneezed once more and sent them tumbling to the light. Their prize forgotten in the flood, they vanished from the sight. In the cave of the sneezing dragon, sparks and torrents meet, walls ablaze and rivers race beneath the trembling feet. Run ye brave from blazing rain, and hear the echoed beat. In the cave of the sneezing dragon, none can keep their seat. Hey. Magic's wayward band, who but left instead with nothing in their hand. In the cave of the sneezing dragon, legends still repeat of how four mages fled the gold to save their smoking seat. In the cave of the sneezing dragon, sparks and torrents meet, walls ablaze and rivers race beneath the trembling feet. Run ye brave from blazing rain, and hear the echoed beat. In the cave of the sneezing dragon, none can keep their seat. Upon the edge of Al-Karim, where dunes like oceans roll, the mages came to guard the trade from raiders on patrol. Aelbrin raised his arms to call the desert's breath in hand, to chase them to the farthest ridge and free this merchant band. The wind obeyed with roaring might, the sands began to fly, till all the tents and camels too were swallowed by the sky. Sandswirl Siege, the desert's roar, from golden dune to fortress door. It buried foe and friend the same in swirling clouds that none could tame.
The raiders fled in blinded fear, their cries lost in the gale. But so too did the mages camp beneath that sandy veil. Their food, their maps, their sturdy boots all vanished in the storm. And laughter rang as they dug out in chaotic sandy form.
Sandswirl Siege, the desert's roar, from golden dune to fortress door. It buried foe and friend the same in swirling clouds that none could tame. So mark this truth in desert lore, when wind and dust unite, the storm knows not your friend or foe, nor wrong from what is right. Sandswirl Siege, the desert's roar, they'll tell the tale forevermore. Molten stone, where fire meets the sky, Pyrrhus stood with blazing hands, his eyes a burning cry. Beside him gentle Mirella, her waters fierce and proud, together face the mountain's wrath, its voice a roaring shroud. Hold the line, cried Pyrrhus, the fire must be stayed. I'll drown it, laughed Mirella, let the seas might be arrayed. Lava, meet tidal wave, clash
the sky a boiling silver dome. From stone to shore the tempest roared, and cooked our feast before it poured.
So drink your ale and praise the cooks who never lit a flame, for Pyrrhus and Mirella's storm has won them tavern fame.
Lava meet tidal wave, clash of flame and foam. We'll feast on steam for years to come, wherever we may roam.
Where the oldest oaks still grow, Thornic led the party forth on paths they did not know. He called upon the earth to lift the roots and clear the way, but nature heard him otherwise and chose its own display. From moss to mighty canopy the forest took its stand, and tangled every traveler in the green and grasping land. Forest of endless roots, the trail was lost from sight. Elves and mages bound as one in nature's slow delight. From dawn to dusk they laughed and swore in knots they'd never known before. The elves who came to greet them found their boots in twisting snare, their silver hair with branches twined, their tempers in despair. Yet songs arose beneath the leaves as wine and jokes took hold, for all were caught together in the woodland's woven fold. Forest of endless roots, the trail was lost from sight. Elves and mages bound as one in nature's slow delight. From dawn to dusk they laughed and swore in knots they'd never known before. So if you walk with Thornic, walk, keep careful where you tread, for roots remember every step and weave your path instead. Forest of endless roots, where earth and mirth unite. The journey's long but tales are strong beneath the green twilight.
High above the silver clouds, the skyship took its flight, bound for distant kingdoms in the golden morning light. At the helm stood Albert with the wind's command in hand. I'll speed us to the harbor gates, the finest in the land. But gusts grew wild and wilder still, the deck began to sway, and soon the crew were clinging tight as clouds all blew away. Skyship in a storm, the mast near kissed the moon. From star to star we tumbled far, and none cried
untried land fall soon. Hold the rail, ye daring souls, the wind's our guide through heaven's shoals. Hey! The cook's fine stew went sailing past. Hey, hey. The captain lost his hat. Hey, hey. The sails near tore to ribbons as the crew cried, "What was that?" Yet laughter roared above the gale, for all aboard still knew that Elbrin's hand, though swift and bold, was far from steady too. Skyship in a storm, the master kissed the moon. From star to star we tumbled far, and uncried landfall soon. Hold the rail, ye daring souls, the wind's our guide through heaven's shoal. Hey! Now every port still tells the tale of that uncharted ride, where wind and folly steered the way across the heavens wide. Skyship in a storm, we'll sing till dawn anew, for flights like these are rare as gold and twice the joy to crew. Hold the rail, ye daring souls, the wind's our guide through heaven's shoals. Skyship in a storm, the master kissed the moon. From star to star we tumbled far, and uncried landfall soon. Hold the rail, ye daring souls, the wind's our guide through heaven's shoals. Upon the heights of Frostspire Pass, where mountain shadows lean, the four-made camp neath silver peaks in air so sharp and clean. Pyrrhus built a fire high, its glow a crimson crown, while Mirella fetched the mountains melt to cool the wine down. But flame and frost in playful war clashed over pot and plate, till supper took a stranger form none thought to contemplate. The frozen feast, a banquet turned to ice, with roasted fowl now glistening, locked in frosty spice. From goblet cold to stew like stone, we dined beneath the mountain's throne.
The hair was half in embers, half in crystal shell. The bread was warm yet capped with snow, a sight no bar could tell. The mugs of mead were frozen mid a sip trapped in the wave, and laughter rolled from cliff to cliff at what the two had gave.
The frozen feast, a banquet turned to ice, with roasted fowl now glistening, locked in frosty spice. From goblet cold to stew like stone, we dine beneath the mountain's throne. So raise a cheer to fiery hands and water's cooling art, whose quarrel turned our mountain meal to winter's merry heart. The frozen feast forever shall be sung in taverns where the mugs are raised and laughter's ever young. The frozen feast, a banquet turned to ice, with roasted fowl now glistening, locked in frosty spice. From Beyond the dunes of silver plain where sun and shadow weave, the temple of the fourfold winds lay guarded, none believe. Its gates were sealed by ancient crafts, by earth and flame and rain, by air that whispered secrets in an ever-changing strain. The four approached in eager step, each keen to prove their might, yet none would wait for one accord, each struck to claim the right. Temple of the Four Winds, tremble in the sand, for powers clashed upon your stones, unbound by guiding hand. The pillars shook, the banners tore, and near the gates they were no more. Gale brings gusts, unmoored the doors, Pyrrhus slits the floor, Mirella's flood swept down the steps, Thornac split the core. The temple roared with ancient wrath, its stones began to fall, till mages fled in tangled haste, near crushed by their own call. Temple of the Four Winds, tremble in the sand, for powers clashed upon your stones, unbound by guiding hand. The pillars shook, the banners tore, and near the gates they were no more. Let this be told in market squares and sung in courtly halls, that pride will shake the firmest stones and heed not ancient walls. Mark this on your land, the fools who woke your storming heart with no unsteady hand. Oh,
square of Silverdale, beneath the oaken shade, the fair Eternia walked alone in emerald arrayed. Three mages spied her beauty bright, their hearts took sudden flame, and each swore he would win her love and glory to his name.
Elbrin sent the blossoms flying, Thornac carved her throne. Pyrrhus lit the lamps at dusk with sparks of fire alone.
Three mages, one elf, each fighting for her hand, with wind and stone and fire bold across the elven land. They cast, they sang, they swore by stars above. Three mages in the folly of love.
They met upon the riverbank, each bearing finest wine,
Each boasting of the battles fought, the spells and ancient line.
Eternia smiled at every gift, yet gave no promise true,
While whispering to Mirella,
I think my heart's with you.
three mages, one elf, each fighting for her hand, with wind and stone and fire bold across the elven land. They cast, they sang, they swore by stars above. Three mages in the folly of love.
just upon the midsummer's eve, she bade them all draw near,
to thank you for the songs and spells, the joy I found this year.
Yet love's a stream that finds its way, and mine runs clear as rain. It flows to Mirella, my heart's sweet bright refrain.
Three mages, one elf, now staring in surprise, while laughter fills the market air and tears stand in their eyes. So raise your cups and toast to love's own shove. Three mages